And we're live. So good evening, everyone. To all my viewers out there, we're back with Ray of Hope, where hope is not lost but built. So Ray of Hope is all about sharing anecdotes, sharing stories, sharing personal experiences of how there are people out there, common, just as you and I, simple, just as you and I, but have stories that could or may not inspire, but would make somebody take one step ahead. And that means a lot. So Ray of Hope is all about that. Today I have with me someone whom I feel little to introduce, but I would take the pleasure to introduce him, who is none other than Manoj Sehgal, sir. I've known him for quite many years now. And if I have to introduce him, sir is eminent in his own personality, in his own style. Sir does a lot about coaching, training. Sir does a lot of shows that actually inspire, because Sir doesn't conduct shows, but he goes on various platforms to speak. Sir is a motivational TEDx speaker. Sir has been a gold medalist, awarded the gold medal. Sir has been a trainer for over quite a few decades now. And Sir goes to various schools to train, to coach, to mentor. That's how we got connected. Sir cracks all entrance exams. Sir is a math geek, if I could say. Sir has been an All India rank 1. Sir has been in an MBA in finance and VJIT, JEE. And sir, if I have to take the alphabets, I think it goes across A to Z, where entrance exams are concerned and all other exams are concerned. And I don't think there's any alphabet left in any of the exams that you have missed. And you train young minds with all those exams. I will come to the questions later, sir, that I have for you. I'm just too excited and I can't wait to ask you. But before that, I give it all over to you, sir, and I'm humbled that I have you on my show. Thank you so much. It's all yours now, sir.
Good evening, Michelle, and thank you so much for inviting me for the show. It's all my pleasure, and I'm waiting eagerly to hear what your questions are. Let's see if I can answer it properly. Hope I can get math part right today.
Sir, I have quite many questions to ask you. My first is, you have been training, you have been coaching, rather, I would say, mentoring for a subject like math. I don't know if there are quite many like me who have no inclination toward math, but usually, since I'm an educator, quite many of our children also, feel that math is such a subject where, they're not too inclined to learning it. They're not too inclined to, making it lively and interesting. Quite many of them find it a little dull and boring. My question is, how do you live up to that then? How do you live up to making it
Michelle, I
lively?
somewhere lost you in the questions. I mean, there was some disturbance in the network.
Okay. Can you hear me now, sir? Am I audible to you now?
I can, yeah, I can.
Okay. So my question, sir, was to you, and that is, you train a subject like math, which if I ask most of the school students, I'm sure they would be one like me dreaming in class, because, are you there, sir?
Vishal, I can hear you, but I've lost your question again.
Yeah, well, that's how we have been with technology. And so my question to you, sir, is that math is such a subject that quite many of our young children especially in school, they're not inclined to such a subject, and it becomes very challenging to keep such a subject lively in class, in a classroom setup for students. So my question to you is, how were you encouraged to do what you're doing today? What made you love that subject, or how did you think of going ahead with so
Uh,
many exams and cracking those exams?
uh, Frankly speaking, I don't know how I do it. I mean, you'll have to ask my students how they love learning from me. But I think for any subject teacher to be good, you should enjoy or love that subject. That makes it easy for you to, give it to the kids there. So if you have a passion of learning maths always, and always feel that a couple of students always in my class will do a better method of me. In fact, they can crack it faster sometimes, and they'll show me a method which I recollected. Okay, fine, this is also a good method which I do. So it's encouraging the young minds to think beyond what the classroom coaching is. Second thing is it has to be innovative. So you try to give them examples. You explain for how Newton and Einstein and every great mathematician have thought about it. So the inspiration comes from the earlier part. I'm being just a catalyst for them to prepare for all the entrance. But yes, you have to enjoy. You have to, if you enjoy only, then you can impart it. And yes, you're right. The maths is a phobia for a lot of people. So you try with a smaller sums, and maths will love doing it, and you challenge them. I mean, they love doing it, but it has to be different mode of teaching, other than the typical thing. I think my love for maths is formidable for the fact is my school teachers were good enough and had a very challenging bench during my school time. So everybody in my school time were toppers. So they were a little higher than them. I mean, a couple of them are really good, but so I used to practice it more than I think it was required at that stage, but just the edge was there from that part. And I really enjoyed doing maths. Physics is my forte, maths is my forte, so it just came naturally. So I guess that just happens. And then once you have it, then you want to maintain the consistency.
Yes, I've been seeing that, and I know about you that you've been into this and you've got an experience of more than 20 years in the education industry. Your specialty is in math faculty for CAT, for CET. I remember when I was doing my B.Ed, before doing my B.Ed, I had to do the CET.
CET.
And yes, and so I enrolled for some coaching so that I know what kind of questions they would ask me, and that reminded me of my school days when I had to give my board exams. That time we had algebra and geometry, and I
Exactly.
remember
Yeah.
for my 10th board, I studied only how much I need to pass for algebra so that for geometry I didn't have to study.
Okay.
so so I didn't study for geometry at all. If my maths sir is watching me, he'll laugh and maybe he'll break his head that he told me how many times he told that sine, cos, theta, something I never understood even today. And we would fool about it and laugh about it, but we never studied it. I'm sure if I had to have a sir like you, maybe who would make things interesting in class, although my maths teacher was really good, but not at school. He was a tutor for me. So I would go to him, and the least that I scored was only because of him. Otherwise, I don't think I would have, crossed my grade 10. So, sir, my question to you is, you have won a gold medal. You're a gold medalist. You're All India rank 1. Uh, you know, we were just discussing, and I was telling you that when you achieve a title like that, not many would say, yay, now I'm going to become a teacher. Wow, now I'm going to become an educator. And I'm going to impart this onto many students. So my question to you, sir, is how did you choose a profession like teaching and imparting this knowledge? You spoke about imparting.
Uh, Frankly speaking, I don't still have a BA degree. Let me tell you that. Uh, After completing my MBA, I was working in an multinational bank, and on the weekends we used to get free. Saturday, Sunday was an off for us, and one of the coaching classes offered me, would you come and teach the kids who are just preparing for the MBA prep? And I was just a batch senior than them. So I said, why not? So my teaching actually happened as a default. It was a de-stress for me. So it happened Monday to Friday. We were working full on for the MNCs, and I used to leave my place at 7, come back at 9, 9:30, maybe even 10. So weekends is what I was looking forward, because it was a one way of removing my entire stress. So a lot of people have a different way of removing the stress. For me, this was a make through. Okay, okay, I will not get too much suffocated with my work, and this is how I'm imparting it. So it all happened by default. I never planned for it, and after working couple of years, there was a lowest phase in my career. I just recently got married, and suddenly, a month or two later, my mom had a cancer. It was a stage where we knew we didn't have a lot of time with her, and had just recently got married, so had to take a call what next to be done. And we remember that we had to do chemo twice a week, and we knew we were running against time. So I actually spoke to the CEO of the organization, कि can I take a sabbatical? So he said, we cannot offer you sabbatical because this is a disease, we don't know how long it will take. However, you are free to join us back in case you resign. I spoke to my wife, and she had started a career as a school teacher. She was a school teacher at that time. So she said, no, listen, you don't take this, I will take a break. So I realized in just a couple of months, she was ready to sacrifice for my own mom, which I wasn't ready to do. So then I took a call, I will take a break, and let's see what happens later. So it is very unplanned that it happened. What happened is we used to have chemo twice a week. So Mondays and Thursdays is where we used to go for chemo. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and a couple of days it was an off for me, which I was not doing anything. I resigned from my organization itself. So I had friends, or wherever I was teaching earlier, they told me, would you like to come and teach now, since you are free in relative time? So I enjoyed teaching so much that I started teaching, in the morning, early morning lectures. I had late evening lectures. So they planned it accordingly. They were very helpful in that way. Um, with mom, it was 2 years of real hard work and hardship we faced. And then she left us. So I did have a choice to come back again to this, but in the 2 years, I had built a decent base for myself. And I realized I'm not making money, but I was enjoying it. I realized 5 years when I was actually working as an investment banker, I did make good amount of money, but I was a paying guest. I mean, my mom used to say you used to leave at 7 and come back. So you're only there only for changing clothes and having dinner with us. That's it. And then you're not doing anything else with this. And I realized I missed out couple of things which I should have done. So that teaching part gave me that break that I could decide this way. I didn't know I would be a good teacher, frankly speaking, but I enjoyed the way it was. I was a different way. I mean, a lot of people have done a typical traditional way of teaching. Since I didn't have a BA degree, so I didn't have any methodology कि okay ऐसे सिखाना चाहिए. तो मैं अपनी तरीके से कर रहा था, which the kids were enjoying it. So the results were pouring in, and that's how I came in. So it started with a default, but then it was so good enough I never felt like going it. And ideally, for the same organization, I'm a consultant to them right now. So I designed their academic paper, I designed the interview panel, I do the entire GDPI for entire thing, and finally hand over the kids to them. So it's just strange fate that I came by teaching, and ironically, myself arranged marriage, and my wife is also from teaching. So a lot of people when they meet us, they feel that we would have known each other earlier, but that's absolutely not a case.
That's
So
amazing.
I don't know
That's
who's
really amazing, sir. Really. That,
just
you know,
happened.
Yeah, that I believe teaching is a calling, and
Maybe it is for me. I would definitely say it is my calling. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, the 7 months I'm itching back to go to the school or the college and again go live.
absolutely.
It's not that I don't enjoy doing it on the Zoom or something, but the feeling is still not there. I mean, the environment is not there. So I've been requesting you, okay, listen, you don't call the kids, but I'm still going to the college and doing a live lecture there. At least the environment to room with it. It's still happening like that.
It actually makes a difference. Actually makes a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
The other day I had happened to go to school for some work, and I had to take a class. The moment I put my camera on, my students, they bombarded me. Ma'am, you're in school, please show us the ground, please show us this, please show us that. And the entire feel was different. The entire
Right,
feel was different. So
right,
absolutely, sir.
right.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us how you became a teacher actually. So that again in itself is inspiring, and everyone goes through struggles in life. You mentioned you don't have a B.Ed degree even now, but I'm sure that is nothing that could stop you from being the best ever. Uh, it could be a degree on papers that is required, but it cannot be something that would define you as a teacher.
You know,
Your
Michelle,
personality and the
actually,
way you are.
Michelle, actually, when I started teaching now, I didn't know what will click for me because I
Yeah,
didn't have a
absolutely.
thing. So I was teaching everything. So I taught from eighth grader, I taught 10th grader, I was teaching the graduates, I was teaching the postgraduate. So because I didn't know what will click for me, I was teaching practically everything. Then I realized, okay, this is something which I can do well. So entrance became my forte. So all the coaching were behind my back. Okay, you can you train us for the Olympiads or the way you train in terms of a thing. Because when I was a student, I realized that there are so many brilliant students I had or who were my peers. So to defeat them, I was trying some innovative way where I can get the answer faster. It's not that I discover maths or something like that. In fact, I don't have any patent also for any of the formulas which I've discovered. Somebody must have done it, but I just done it in a way where it was coming from me. And since I have done it, sometimes when I'm imparting it to the kids follow it so easily. In fact, they love that way because it was not a natural where somebody has, the laws were there and I did it. It just happened. So when I started teaching, I was teaching practically everything. I think leaving English, social studies, and languages, I was practically teaching everything. पता नहीं ना क्या click होगा, मतलब default में चल रहा था यार. But then I realized maths and physics was more my forte, so I should stick to that. I did teach some chemistry also a couple of years, but I realized maths and physics were the fortes. And entrance is something which I love doing it because there's a challenge involved. It's not just
Yeah.
about the question that those questions will be like that. There will always be some new questions coming in, new methods. So you always have to be one step ahead, and that's where I realized this is my calling, and I enjoy it. I mean, for me, it's a de-stress. So a lot of people say you know your calling. My calling came by default, but I'm happy it came. Maybe, frankly speaking, as all educators, we'll all say that the teaching does not give you the money,
Hmm.
which we all agree. But
Hmm.
what it gives us is a lot of blessings, a lot of wishes. So when I see my students doing well, so that's the greatest accomplishment we have. It's not the money always.
Absolutely.
It's the way they come. We sometimes bump into each other in the malls or somewhere else, and they'll recognize me. I mean, I remember 2 years back, we were in Singapore and we were in Universal, and suddenly I had a student popping up and say, "Hey, Manoj sir, how are you?" So my wife was saying, "Is there any continent where we can go without not having a student?" So it was fun, and I was clicking pictures and everything. So you never realize sometimes, but that's good. That's good. You're happy.
It's really good. Yes, I'm sure there would be many who would be watching you and would actually relate to this. That the profession we are in doesn't fetch money, but
Right.
it's not about the money.
Exactly.
It's it is about like what you said. When you meet your students and when they share with you, what they're doing. I had a student who got in touch with me. In fact, my first show, the guest speaker was my student who got placed at a bank, and he got in touch with me and he said, I'm placed at a bank. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And with that thought, we interacted with each other, and I said, I have a student who's placed in a bank now. That's quite an achievement. And I asked him, would you be on my show? I'll host you. You'll be the guest speaker. What would you want to speak of? You plan and let's do it. That's really amazing, sir. So I have one out of the box question for you, if I may ask.
Sure, you can.
If I was your student, I would have asked you this question. When you teach math, you say, assume x is equal to so and so. My question would be, assume कैसे करने का?
वो imagination ही है, क्योंकि x तो करने वाला ही नहीं है.
That was a greatest challenge for me, and I would ask my friends also. तुम लोग को कैसे पता है कि ये assume x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 1 or 9 or n or what? Sometimes it's not a number. Sometimes it's another alphabet. So,
it is a variable actually. So you don't like x, you take a or other variable.
मुझे नहीं पता था. It's about eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah, but it's any subject to conquer, you should first remove the fear. And I think a lot of people don't understand that maths is one thing which people get full score, so it can't be difficult. See, I understand it's so difficult getting a full score in English or economics or couple of subjects which are theoretical, but maths, science are your scoring subjects. So if you enjoy it, and maths is all about practice. So the same equation you write it twice, it will be drilled into you. So I will feel that maths, if you practice a more, I mean, if you first of all remove the phobia, it's difficult. And second, if you practice a bit more than what you thought you could be a genius in the making. I mean, there's always been a case like that. And maths, another thing, you can't avoid maths. Even when you're making money, you're gonna account now. So that is the चाहिए यार.
मैंने सोचा था स्कूल खत्म हो जाएगा, I'm done with math, but math is everywhere.
It haunts to you, it's like an
absolutely.
Absolutely. The time of life, yeah.
Absolutely. So I would want to ask you, like you already shared about a rough patch that you faced in your life. Was there a time, sir, in your career maybe, or in your life where you felt that you've come to a pause, you've come to a standstill? That was a challenge that got you down, and ever a point in your life, sir, where you felt that everything's falling apart, crashing down, and how you made a comeback, sir, out of that setback is what I would really love you to share with us and get inspired and build hope everywhere around.
Actually, there's not one. There'll be so many instances. My mom's coming part was the biggest one. The fact when we realized we didn't have a lot of time with us, so that was one big part. Again, in teaching, there were a lot of instances where you have to groom yourself or change the way you are teaching. I remember it was my anniversary, and we were in mainland China. And Sunday, when we were having a dinner, there was a student who popped up from somewhere, and she just said hi to me. And I didn't recollect her. Okay, I've taught her, and she told me, "No, sir, you taught me around 7, 8 years back." And I recollected, oh, okay. I just said, okay, I just taught you for 2 classes, and you remember me after just teaching 2 classes, and that also a couple of years later. And then she told me something which, it was a hurting factor, but I realized, okay, maybe I'm teaching something which I shouldn't have done. She said, in my entire lifetime, nobody has scolded me, but you were the first person who has done it. So it hits you like that. You don't like hearing this. But then you realize, okay, you can't have, so much stubbornness, or you can't be so obstinate, okay, like you're teaching. Like I'm very meticulous about my timing. So if my classes starts at 7 a.m., it will be 7, and 7:05 students will not be allowed. So I was very, very clear about that. Okay, you can't be 5 minutes late, and maybe discipline was something which I was trying to impart, but it might be not the right method. I realized that people were traveling and they could be getting late by trains and everything. So these are things you learn over the period of time. I mean, I was one of the hot-headed teachers. Like गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता था. Luckily, मारा नहीं. But over the period, you mellow down. You realize, okay, this is a student. So you become more friendly. So if you look right now, my teaching is very different from what I must have taught 15, 20 years back. Right now, when I go, I don't even talk about teaching. I just have a great fun, share something like that. So it's like breaking an ice, which you learn over the period of time. I mean, you guys are better off. You have done your degree, so you've been trained. Okay, how you break the ice in the first or second class. I've done it my own self discovery. So there have been instances where it has happened. Um, then I can recollect one. I mean, there are so many instances where I can cover the show where there have been setbacks. Then you go back to the drawing board, check what has not clicking or why it is happening. There was a year where we haven't done very well. The students' numbers were falling down and the results were not coming in. So we realized what we were doing is something what every coaching classes was doing it. We were trying to get a lot of students without checking the quality. So we decided we will not do that. So that is how we decided, okay, we'll cut down the numbers, we'll cut down on the profit share, we'll cut down the number of batch strength, but we'll make it sure the results start pouring in. So we have done a lot like that. So over the period, it's you understand okay, what has worked, and then you try to stick to the success formula, and every year try to innovate. So we were one pioneers who started before everything started with a 24/7, 365. You can ask us a question or a query, and we'll come back within 48 hours, or you mail it to us. So my mail ID is available practically all students, and let me tell you that I check my mail every half an hour, 45 minutes. So even if I don't reply back immediately, I told them give me 2 days and I'll reply back, and I make it sure I do it because I realized when I was a student, there are a lot of teachers who told me, okay, if you have a doubt or a query, you tell it to us and we'll get back. But they never got back to me. So I realized this is something which I should never do it. So I tell them, give me 2 days, but I'll get back. And there are days where sometimes you get stuck up and you may not be able to solve the sum. So it's very clear that you be apologetic about it. Okay, sorry, I'm not in the frame of mind right now to give you a solution, but maybe give me some time and I'll come back. So there have been setbacks. There have been a lot of things, mostly in terms of financial part or getting a result desired. But over the period, you try to do it. Like even this year, what we have decided, we are not taking a fee from any of the students. So this year, the entire coaching is imparted free of cost to all the students. So we have not charged a single penny from April. We told the parents we understand what conditions you are right now. You don't need to pay us, but the coaching will not stop. We will continue with your coaching and it will be as earlier. So my teachers do get the entire payment. I've not cut a single penny from them. I realized that this is a year where they needed or I needed to be with them like an elder brother. They have been there for a lot of years. So why make them suffer? So we made it sure that, all the dongles reaches to their places, the internet connections have been given. If there have been extra charges from their side, so we have reimbursed. We told them, okay, you are not paying anything. So entire thing, we will bear the cost. Students are told, okay, in case you have an issue or you can hold on to your fees. And trust me, it's not that I'll not get it. I'll get it. But at this stage, it's important to be with them. So the parent support is important. So we realize this is one of the years where it could be a make or break even for even them because they're also losing jobs. It's not that they don't want to pay. There'll be one isolated cases where the parent really doesn't want to pay. Out of the rest of them actually will pay. So we know that. So it's handling the pressure is also important. So these are trying to doing it. I'm helping out 3 BMC schools right now with the free coaching and taking lectures with them, mentoring them. So I have a couple of my students who are helping me with that. So we have made the entire team where we are doing something which can help the schools also. So these are things which we learn by setbacks also sometimes,
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if there could be anything better than, uh, doing what you're doing, sir.
No, I'm
I mean,
sure there
this
are a lot
is
of people trying on their own. I mean, only thing is because I'm in the area where it gets noticed earlier, so I'm sure a lot of people are doing it. I'm sure everybody, most of the Indians are trying on their sort to help out people.
absolutely, absolutely, and that is something that we learned in this time like that, especially. Uh, uh, there were quite many times when I wouldn't say no one helped anyone. Of course, everybody helped. Uh, but this is the time when we started empathizing all the more.
Exactly,
We
exactly.
started, compassion was always there, goodness and kindness was always there. Somewhere, because we were too busy, we neglected it. It was not on the
Exactly.
top of the chart.
Right.
It topped the chart this time because we realized that with the time, there's nothing we can do. There are things that are not in our control. When the entire globe had to come to a standstill, that's when I think empathy hit the chart, gratitude hit the chart, compassion hit the chart, and not only great people, it's common people
Yes,
who would go all out there helping everybody, whomever they could help.
exactly. In fact, day before yesterday, there was a good report that this year there's been a collection of 64% more than last year for all the philanthropic and all the NGOs this year. So people have poured their heart out. We talk about, कि common man नहीं करता है, but if the common man have actually come out and tried to help in whatever way they can do. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. 64% is virtually quite a bit in such a bad time where they themselves would have been struggling, but they've come out.
Absolutely, sir. And that is something that we learned in a time like that. That you don't need to be great. I was just sharing with my students, and I was telling them, don't wait to become great to help. With the little that you have, if you help, you automatically become great.
Become great. Absolutely. I totally
You
agree with you. Nice.
automatically become great. So I tell my students, don't wait to become a great personality and then think you'll help. The very fact that you help now by sharing an eraser with somebody who doesn't get his eraser all the time, you become great.
Absolutely.
And don't ask that eraser back. Let it be with that person.
वो वैसे भी मिलने वाला नहीं है, वैसे भी मिलेगा नहीं है.
और फिर वापस वो इंसान वही आकर पूछेगा, तुमसे ही पूछेगा, give me the eraser.
Right. But nice quote. Nice quote, yeah.
Yeah, so I always talk to my students about it, and I always tell them, don't be great. This is a normal notion that every man has, that जब पैसे आएंगे तब मैं करूँगा, तब मैं करूँगी. But जितने हैं अगर उसमें से if you do, I think more will be added then. It's my belief, my philosophy.
Perfect. And anyway, you get loads of blessings. Why you discount that? These are the things which will help you out. Yeah.
So my last question to you is, and then I'll leave it to the audience and the participants who are here, if they would want to ask you a few questions, is that you've already shared quite a lot. But if there was one thing you want to tell people to hold on to, or if there was one thing you would want to, leave as an inspiration or a message to someone, what would it be, sir?
I don't know what message I would be giving it to you, but I feel when I die, I mean, there should be a board outside, okay, because of this, I have done something. I want to die with that legacy stating, okay, because of Manoj sir, we have become something in life. So I guess that is what I'm trying. I don't know whether I've been very successful in doing it, but I have that part, okay, that legacy I should leave it behind. So I would advise all students, whoever is listening, be very honest with your work. That's very, very important. Don't try to take shortcuts. There's absolutely no substitute for hard work. There are absolutely no lift to go to your success in the upper part. You'll have to take the staircase. You'll learn, you'll fall, you'll come back, and that will make you stronger. But don't lose anything in between. Your honesty, integrity, and belief in yourself, and have trust in you. I mean, human faith is the biggest faith we have. So even if there are times which are bad, it will come back. We also have seen good times, so we will see some bad times. It's a wave. So don't get too scared, and don't look at the fact that somebody else had made good money in terms of cheating or got good scores. At the end of the day, nobody cares of those scores. I mean, nobody remembers what you got in the 8th or the 9th grader. It really doesn't matter. What matters, whatever score you got, did you get it on your own and with all honesty? I know it's easy when you look at a virtual classroom that you could easily copy the questions and everything, but does it get you anywhere? I mean, whom are you trying to please? And you yourself know that you are not doing the right thing. So your conscience is the biggest thing for you. So don't look, okay, somebody else is doing it. Should you do it? Yeah, we live in a rat race where the percentage becomes important and everything is counted. But at the end of the day, just look at them. Are they really happy? Are they really enjoying what they're doing it? And as of matlab, we all seen over the years, the scam will always come out. If you're cheated something, it will hurt to you. Maybe not directly. It will come back to your family. If you cheated somebody in terms of money or others, it might come back to you in the terms of health structure. वो जाएगा नहीं. Whatever sins we are there, we will have to bear it before we go up. So, I mean, don't try to do any shortcuts. Don't do it. Have faith in God, and even if other people are doing it, that's okay. I mean, don't. And frankly speaking, for 99 people who will have wrong precedent or wrong people as a follower, there will be one person whom you like that he's doing a right job. He could be a politician, he could be a sports person, he could be an average Joe. He could be a next door neighbor who doesn't want all that. I mean, आप उसको भी तो देख सकते हो. Why we're looking at so much negativity part? I mean, I always find when you're looking at, say, any of the news in the morning, it's talking about coronavirus and everything which is bad. But look at the pandemic has also given good things to you. You realize that you don't need a lot of things. You were holding on things which are immaterial to you. So वो positivity भी तो है. तो आप उसको भी तो देख सकते हो. Look at the doctors, nurses, the field people, the policemen who've been trying to protect us. आप एक gratitude उनको भी दे सकते हो कि उन बेचारों की वजह से हम बचे हुए हैं. So why have negativity कि okay this is killing or I don't know when the vaccination is coming. The entire world is waiting for vaccination. So I'm sure when you and I are waiting, but you can strengthen your immunity. Make it sure that you are trying your best, not you and your family to suffer. It will happen. If it happens, it happens. But you take your safety precaution. Don't think, okay, other people are not wearing masks or something. I should be like a brave heart. You're taking a risk for your own family members. And frankly speaking, we don't even know, is the vaccination being successful? Remember, it has been done at triple time the rates it's supposed to be. We don't even know the trials are successful. And we don't even know what the side effect can be of that. We just in the very early stages of the entire virus. So what is beyond your hands, you can't know about it. And stop having negativity in life. Okay, yeah, this is gonna happen. It will happen. And so you can have positive roles. I think sports, music, there are umpteen teachers who have come out from nowhere who've been inspiring you. You pick up them as a role models. No? So that is your inspiration. Your teachers are doing a fantastic job. I mean, trust me, nobody was trained for the pandemic. I do not know any teachers knew how to make a very good PPT.
Absolutely.
But the way they have coped up with the technology, and no school has trained them. So we learned how to work on Zoom. We learned how to make a PPT. The workload has increased 4 times.
Yes.
And we still do with a smile on the face. We know, okay, because of what we are doing right now, it's important that you get a good message. So we have lost family life. We have lost work from home. I mean, when we are doing it, the kids are not allowed because you can see them on the screen and nobody can come in. So it's one of the ways we are trying to do our best. But
nobody else can watch TV in the house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so, absolutely, yeah. Sir.
So pick up one of them. I mean, for me, whenever I'm down and out, I love a movie. If you can enjoy that, it's a movie by Sylvester Stallone. It's Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
So I love the entire Rocky series, but I love the fact that even if he's down, he will come back. The heart wins away. It might be a fictional character, but whenever I'm down and out, I just want to watch that movie because it gives me such a big inspiration. Even if you're losing with a very brave heart that you give your best shot. Then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter. Results actually doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's important that you go on with a nice way, frankly speaking.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really something that I'm sure was simple and not that anybody would find it too difficult to do. Something simple, exactly. and I think if we work on simplicity, I think that's the best. And knowing you, sir, you've always been one who always goes ahead with showcasing simplicity. So that's amazing, sir. So you spoke about honesty. So my it's not a question, but I thought of it because just today we were talking about honesty in class, and one of my students said honesty is the best policy, but not always. What are your thoughts on that, sir? Do you agree? Do you disagree or something? So whoever is watching us would, I'm sure, learn something from you.
No, I totally agree that honesty is the best policy. It may not show in the shorter run. Maybe somebody is trying to cheat, might be slightly successful right now, but it doesn't work in the longer run. Honesty, I agree, is totally the best policy. It might be there stages where we won't be able to see it directly, or maybe in the shorter run, the guy who's been cheating has been running successfully. But in the long run, it will come back to you in a very bad way. So I
Thank
would
you.
say, yeah, stick to it. It's still good policy. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Because the moment I said honesty is the best policy, one of the students said, not always. So I wanted your thoughts on it. I'm sure there would be many who would maybe take it from you rather than taking it from somebody else. We all have our fan following. So, it's
Right.
important what kind of message we put across. And that's why I thought I'll ask you your thoughts on what do you think about it?
No, Michelle is important when you are in a field, what we are right now, both of us. It's important that you show strong stage of character because there
Yeah,
are so many people who follow you blindly, knowingly, unknowingly. So
true.
one fall from you and the entire things disappear. Then they lose hope in humanity.
Yeah.
So that's very important. That sometimes even when things are bad and things are not going right, say this is very important. That when you are the role models for so many young generations, it's very important that you hold on your character. Let people do whatever. Like you
True.
don't take a shortcut. That my serious thing is. हाँ करना है जिसको करना है करेगा लेकिन आप मत कीजिए because they follow you
Yes.
and I've realized in my maybe 24 years of teaching that this is something people have loved or liked of mine. I don't know whether they like my teaching, but the fact that I've stuck with them, I've been there at all their odds ends, is what they love about me. So I guess that's something which I'm very proud of the fact. I mean, I get
Yeah.
invites for their weddings, and I have a couple of my students' kids who have been named after me. I think it's for
Wow.
me the biggest reward. Yeah. I
That's
told
really,
him you're creating
that's
another
really
math person right now.
wow. That's really sweet. You. That's why I said, sir, you have been an inspiration to so many, to me, and for me, it's only a privilege to have you with me today, this evening. So
Thank you so
thank you,
much.
sir. It's amazing. So I would now like to leave it open to our audiences who would want to ask you questions, our participants who have joined us
Sure.
to ask you questions. I would check the questions on Facebook too. I'm sure there would be some questions there. So if there's any question, if you're not comfortable um, unmuting or coming on camera, you can type your question on the chat box and I will take it forward to sir.
So I'm getting
There
a
is
rapid fire.
There is one question, sir. That's my sister. She told me to ask you. She's watching us on Facebook. And her question is that one incident which truly touched your heart as a teacher and left you feeling proud of your profession. I'm sure you have many.
Uh, uh, Frankly speaking, I do not recollect it very well, but it's been years I was training a BMC school kids. We were requested whether we can train the kids. So I did an entire session for the 10th grader to how to crack the algebra and geometry. And took couple of sessions and didn't even realize what we had done. Then I think maybe 10, 12 years down the line, I met a student who I taught him, and he was a maths teacher right now. And in this time, he just came and said, and we met in one of the mathematics associations. So he came and wanted to touch my feet and said, "Okay, relax, child. What is there? I don't even remember." He said, "Sir, you had done this, and because of you, I'm a maths tutor." And he had so many opportunities to do well, but he still is training free of cost to BMC students. So I'm
Wow.
very proud that I there are people who look to you and they do it. So I think this is my touching moment. I have gone to his wedding. I've been invited to his kids' birthdays, and he's very close to me now, like very good family friend now. But I'm very inspired by him. In fact, frankly speaking, he gives me an inspiration now to do more charitable.
Mm. That's
So
really amazing, sir.
yeah.
Really amazing. something that you would always remember, I'm sure, and that
Absolutely.
would make you feel nostalgic about it.
I
There
feel
is
very proud about it.
Yeah, there are so many instances we can think of like that when it is about
Right.
touching your heart. Students do little things also that touch your heart.
Exactly, and we always are in a blessed profession. I mean, they look to you, you know. I mean, I to still come from say entrance part, but I hats off to all the school teachers because you guys have done amazing job. I
Thank you,
mean,
sir.
people will remember you forever, whether you done good job or whatever. People will remember you. You remember your best school teachers also. You remember your worst school teachers
Was
also.
school teachers also,
Yeah.
absolutely, sir.
Yeah. So this is something, you know, as a teacher, something, it's a great profession to be. Yeah. I mean, you touch so many people, and if you touch in the right way, imagine they are gonna set up the next generation now.
Yeah, true, really true. Like you said that, I always tell everybody, all the teachers out there, uh, at a time like this, when everything came to a standstill, there was only negativity all around.
Exactly.
There was a lot of sadness all around. People were losing jobs. The initial part of the lockdown, people didn't start feeling the pinch then.
Right.
It
Right.
was a little later as we progressed towards the
The
lockdown
second lockdown. Yeah.
imposing
Second
again,
lockdown.
extended
Right.
lockdown.
Right.
That's when people started losing their jobs. People, were boisterous sitting at home, locked up, cooped up. Students, children couldn't do much. Suddenly, women in the house felt that pressure because everybody's at home all of a sudden together. No, you wouldn't get that 1 minute or 1 hour
Right.
of time that a woman would
Exactly.
look forward to. Sab jayenge abhi, I'll be alone at home.
Right.
So I always tell all my teacher friends and all my friends, this is the time students are looking up to us.
Exactly.
This is the time they're looking at us, how we are facing these challenging times. And that will actually make them realize later, many years down the line. My
Right.
teacher always smiled and taught me, even during the pandemic.
Exactly. Vishal,
So,
you're a rock star in that. I mean, always
so
smiling. So I always feel that, oh, you are such an inspiration for so many people.
no, sir. So what you said reminded me of that, and I thought, yeah, I'm on the right track. So there's a question in the chat box. It is, what are the top 3 skills a student should focus on, irrespective of one's career?
I think first of all the fact that if he knows what he wants to do in life, that becomes easier for him. That's something he has to once take a call. Okay, what is his passion? So if he likes doing in something in science, so he takes that. So it's easy for him. Don't take a profession which you're gonna hate always. And so even if you're like an English literature teacher or a geography subject, if you like it, there's so many opportunities which we didn't have in lifetime. I have so many students who have taken an offbeat mark and doing amazing jobs and amazing it is. I have one student who has done her engineering and in chemical engineering, and you would expect her to do something, but now she's helping out people in Maharashtra for organic farming, and it's labeled as the top 100 startups of the year. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it has taken her 7, 8 years, and her friends are already in US making minting money, but she has taken off track and doing that. So, if you realize what you need to do, first thing is know your calling. What is subject which you're interested. Second, remember hard work will always pay. So you work more harder on that. And second, be passionate about whatever you're doing. Because if you're passionate, then the rest of them will flow. I mean, don't be a mediocre in any field you selected. Enjoy, love it, and that's how you'll excel it. So these are 3 skills. It's the mindset which you have. Enjoy. It's not tough. Nothing is tough in the life. Frankly speaking, it's all about your thinking process. If you don't like something, can you do it another way? Is there any other method? And right now, so you have so many YouTube videos helping you in every part. So
True.
for suppose for some reason you do not like the teaching which is imparted right now by your XYZ teacher, look at the other way you have. No? So there are options you have. You can look and into it. But I think mindset is about the fact that you be passionate, have the required skill sets. Okay, nothing is difficult in life, and enjoy it. The money will come. Don't worry. But there's a lot of plenty money if you want to make it, and honest money also.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your insights with us this evening. Really makes me feel so privileged. Each time I say this, it only makes me feel privileged to have you.
Thank you so much.
Listening to you means a lot. Getting to hear from you means a lot. With the kind of expertise that you come with the kind of knowledge that you possess, I think we can go on and on.
Thank you so much.
So we'll go ahead with the rapid fire round.
Sure.
The much awaited one. These are not questions I think you would expect. So
Oh my
let's
God.
see.
So I'm getting some stumped out questions. Okay, fine. I hope I can answer well.
So let's see. What do we have for you? The question is, if you could swim in any liquid, what would it be and why?
Oh my God. If I could swim in any liquid.
In any liquid, what would it be and why?
Other than water?
Yeah, other than water.
Maybe mercury. I want to check the temperature of mercury.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Your next question is, what is your least favorite type of music? Least favorite?
Frankly speaking, my least favorite music would be hard rock.
Hard rock.
Yeah.
If you were a superhero, what would be your powers?
If I was a superhero, I would make it sure nobody gets any grief.
Oh, wow. That's nice. That's nice. How many keys do you have on your key ring? Do you remember that?
Frankly speaking, I would say 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay. What fortune would you want to get from your fortune cookie?
Oh. This is where the from comes when you go to the Chinese restaurant. They'll always will pick up one thing and have a day full of fun, laughter, and contentment.
Lovely. Last one. I won't keep you waiting, sir. If you won millions of dollars, what would you buy and why?
No, if I won, I don't know if I will, but if I won, I'll give it to at least a couple of charities. I don't want to have loads of money. For me, money is immaterial. I am not a fan of a big fan. I've seen it causes more grief than it can solve it. But yes, if I do have a choice, I would give it to a couple of charities where, especially one which is for old age and one is for infants. And I would also give some money to PETA. I think the dogs don't get or the pets don't get that part. I always feel there's a 3 or 4 charities which are very closely associated. So I would donate entire thing to them. I would not be. In fact, if I ever go to KBC and I've been getting a request that I should go, and then I would donate everything. It would go.
You should, sir. You should. आप जाओगे तो let me know. We will all
Sure.
watch you.
Sure. I'll do that. But I will donate everything. I'll donate.
And you said PETA, and I'm sure all the dog lovers out there have become your fans now. All the more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is again a privilege to have you on my show. I would say that again. I've said that I don't know how many times this evening. It really means a lot. I'm humbled that I could host you on my show, Ray of Hope, where hope is not lost but built. Our show is about spreading hope around. Our show is about inspiring people. There are quite many people who feel lost. There are quite many people who feel the door has closed for them. There are quite many people who feel that life has come crashing down. But here we are to remind you that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And everyone has a challenging story, but it's only how we make out of it. Don't break it, just make it. And before we log out, this is for you. I'm sharing my screen, and you will get it in your email too shortly. But this is a token of love from me, Ray of Hope, to you, sir. Just token of appreciation and love for you for being on my show, Ray of Hope, where hope is not lost but built. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you, my dear audiences who are watching me on Facebook. Thank you, my participants who have joined in. If you feel, any one of you feel that you have a story, like I said, it may not be a great inspirational one, but if there's anything about you you feel somebody would hear and want to take that one step ahead, do get back to me, and I'm sure I would love to host you and make others hear your story. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Michelle,
for
for
such a
inviting.
wonderful evening.
It was a great and a pleasure having being here. So the entire thing, I loved being here, part of the show, and I'm privileged to be, you know, be here today. Thank you so much for inviting. Thanks a lot, and God bless
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So take care, everyone. Bye for now. We'll meet again very soon on Ray of Hope, where hope is not lost but built. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Good night.